Hey everyone. It is what I am officially dubbing the second day of Cheatmas. Probably could have come up with a better title because, I don't know, that just sounds kind of weird. But, I don't know. It's Christmas. I'm cheating throughout the holidays in terms of diet. Something that I've been on for like 155 days. Not including today or yesterday, so yeah, I guess in a way this could be seen as half experiment to see what happens when someone who's been sticking to a diet for a really long time feels about their eating experience by the end of the day for each day as the holiday progresses versus how a person was feeling while they're in the diet. So this should be interesting. Well, I guess I'll just go a play by play throughout the day and describe anything that's notable, like how I felt, like any potential situations or things that would spark an interesting conversation or thought. So let's get started right now. So, interestingly enough, I remember waking up early in the morning and it was like 7:30 and something about what I dreamed last night made me want to just stay in bed. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's like I remember having like being in a dream where like I was like a cartoon character just exploring this cartoon world, and I kind of wanted to go back and explore more. So that's why I wanted to just go back to sleep. And I was like, wow, this is much more fun than being in real life. So I guess that's why I wanted to go back to bed. It's pretty interesting. Eventually, I did force myself to get up around, I think like 8:30 or 8:45, somewhere around there. And when I got up, oh no, 8:30. I decided to start the oven at 350 degrees and then go back to sleep until I eventually did officially get up at 9 a.m. I started the oven because I wanted to make the rest of the chocolate chip cookies that were in the fridge for my coworkers. And the reason was the chocolate chip cookie dough is meant to only be in the fridge 3 days tops because I was doing some research about the long staying power of cookie dough in the fridge. And apparently, 3 days is the sweet spot, or between the second and third day is the sweet spot for when you want to use the dough. Reason being, something about like the way the dough sits and absorbs the flavors and the moisture of the butter and the flour gets hydrated and all that causes the cookie to be both more chewy and more buttery and flavorful. But if you go beyond that time, then you get diminishing returns, and the cookie ends up being not that impressive at all. It starts to dry out, starts to have a deadened flavor. And I wanted the cookies at their best before they had a chance to see those days. So I decided, well, I do like offering my baked goods out. I'll just make these cookies, bake them, and hand them out to any coworkers interested in eating them. So they can try the cookies at their best. Now, when the first batch, so I got the dough. The rest of the dough was in the fridge. I rolled them up. I got some parchment paper. I put that on a large pan. I made sure that it wasn't a pan with a dark coating, and the reason why was because I find that when I put cookie dough, even with parchment paper, on a dark pan in the oven, when it's done cooking, I find that the bottom of the cookie ends up burning. Whereas when I use like a more of a just stainless steel pan or like a metal pan, oh, it ends up, coming out evenly cooked on top and bottom. Not sure if that's just my imagination or if there's any science to that, but I found using a normal like gray colored pan was a much better result. So I guess you can't argue with the results. Um, but yeah, when the first batch came out, I ended up making two, and there was just a little bit of batter that was like left enough to make four small cookies. But when the rest of the batter was done and I took it out, the cookies were needing to harden, so I gave them a bit of time. And originally, I wanted to take a shower as I was waiting for the cookies, but then when I went to take the shower, it was already being used. And it is true that we do have two other showers available, but that shower was one that I wanted to use, so it being used was kind of annoying to me. I think the main reason was because I have deodorant in there that's like mine, and like I always like putting on the deodorant after taking a shower, and so yeah, I couldn't use it. So I decided I would take a shower tomorrow morning instead. So that's what I'm gonna do. So, yep. After the cookies were done being made, I put them in a plastic Tupperware container, and then I enclosed the lid on top of them. And yeah, I tried one, and I will admit the flavor was indeed extremely rich. It was extremely buttery. It was bursting with buttery flavor, and it just had a more rich toffee hazelnut note to it that I wasn't expecting, but I fully welcomed. And I really enjoyed these cookies. They were so good. So I was excited to see the reaction that my coworkers would have from eating these cookies. So I put them in the container. I had to get dressed for work. I left. When I got there, I just immediately ran and started asking coworkers, "Hey, do you want a cookie? Hey, you want a cookie?" First few said, "Nah, I already had lunch," but then they looked at the cookies and said, "No, those are some good-looking cookies." One of them tried grabbing one, but because the cookies were still fresh, it ended up falling from their hand and falling on the floor, which was a shame. So I gave them a one that hadn't fallen on the floor. The one that did fall on the floor, though, was taken and put on a paper towel. It wasn't shown to me what happened to it, though, so I'm unsure, like, what happened to that cookie. But the person was able to try another one that didn't fall, and they were more careful with handling it, and they said it was really good, and they really liked it. I gave a cookie to person pushing carts outside, first person I saw today actually at work. They thanked me for it, so that was cool. I gave it to some GMs, one of the produce workers that I get along with, and one of the meat department workers that I also get along with. And yeah, everyone seemed to like them, and that was nice. Really rewarding seeing your hard work pay off, I will say. But yeah, as for work, I remember first hour was spent out on lot, and then the next 3 hours was spent doing bagging. When I reached my first break, I needed to, I decided it would be a good idea to ask to, wait, where was I going with that? I had a brain fart. Sorry. Okay, so for my first break, I asked would it be all right to go on my break to one of the CSRs. They said that it was about 30 minutes over the second hour I was there, so I need to start asking to be more earlier on my breaks instead of taking them later. And I said the reason why was because I was helping an older customer to their car. It was taking a lot longer time than was expected. So, yeah. And they seem to understand that. So, yeah, I took my break. I decided to get some lotto tickets because there's the Powerball that just happened. I wanted to get one ticket where I chose the numbers and two quick pick tickets. So I got those. And so, I'm not one who gambles a lot because I think I'm a person who works really hard for their money. I really, value what I think I should be spending it on or how I should be saving it. I think those things are really important to consider. Like, really ask yourself, do I need this? Do I need that? Is this going to help me? Is this not going to help me? But usually when it comes to something like a Powerball, I'm really intrigued if it's when it goes over the 1.5 billion mark. When that happens, I'm like, oh, okay, now it's a party, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't matter, as long I'd be happy with just $1 million. But then you have to realize, oh, the government takes a huge portion of taxes into it or out of your winnings, and to the point where unless you do make over $1 billion, it's not going to be like, it's going to be a lot less than what you were expecting. But on top of that, like, I don't know. I just I just think I don't know, the higher the number, the more intrigued I am, and if it's a billion with a big B, then I'm definitely intrigued, I suppose. So yeah, that's why I got one. That's my rule. If it's over 1.5 billion, why not? If it's not, then I don't care, and I save my money for things that I actually need, like food, rent, utilities, stuff like that. Say retirement savings in general. Yeah. Repairs. But only if it's above that mark, then I'll go, okay, let's try this out. But anyways, so I got my ticket and I put it in my pocket, and I didn't look at it all day because I didn't want to really have that distract me from my work. But yeah, something strange happened at the end of the day when the numbers were called, and when I took my ticket out, I mean, I did get one number, 4. I didn't get any other numbers other than 4. I mean, when you're doing a game like that, it is kind of an insane premise. You're basically saying, hey, I have a 1 in 292 million chance of getting this. That's like wishing to find like a speck of gold in like a ocean of sand. It's just a ridiculous and insane expectation to have. Or a lot of people get stuck in the treadmill of like, oh, I had that one number. Maybe if I try it again, it'll work out next time. And that's the dangerous loop some people fall into, where they end up spending more money on gambling than they do on their savings and building a safer, more reliable future for themselves. So yeah, that's why I don't really want to do too much in that realm. But the weird thing was, at the end of the day, I also got 2 quick picks, which I was charged for. They were not in my pocket. Um, I went and I checked the inside of my car to see if they were on my car floor. They weren't in there either. So, for all I know, my quick picks could have been the winning ticket, and I wouldn't know because I guess I don't know what happened to them, honestly. I can't say what happened to them. All I can say is the only I put what was given to me by the cashier into my pocket. I didn't look or think about it until much later when the numbers were called. And then when I did look, I only had one ticket, and that was the one where I chose the numbers, and that was it. So, bummer. I feel like I wasted $4 because I wasn't given the tickets that were I paid for. It's pretty sucky, not gonna lie. I should probably have a word with that cashier later, get my $4 back if I can. I'm sure they'd probably say, "No, I gave you them," but I don't know. I don't know what happened. All I know is I'm out $6, and that $6 could have been used for something better. Could have been used for a Starbucks coffee or I don't know, cheeseburger, something like that. Anyways, enough dwelling in the past. Let's move forward. So yeah, I got those tickets. I returned back. I continued my work of bagging, and really nothing to report other than had really positive and hopeful attitude, and I didn't let negativity get in my way, and I did what I could to keep my spirits high, whether it be hello, how are you to customers, in a really earnest and sincere way, or just helping older folks who needed help and directions finding something they needed. It's very important to find joy in the little things at your job, no matter what job it is, because whether you realize it or not, it might change someone's day for the better. So that's something to keep in mind. But anyways, I punched out for lunch. I drove off home. I was really excited to try a new binging with Babish recipe for mac and cheese. He showed that you can put a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk with 12 ounces of cheddar cheese, the shredded one with the potato starch as a anti-caking agent. And you can mix that together. The starch acts as a good binding and thickener for the cheese sauce. And then you could just pour that sauce into a pan, or you could just pour the pan of macaroni in there and mix it together, and you have yourself a solid mac and cheese. So I decided to try that out because the way he made it look and sound in his 10 levels of mac and cheese video made it look really good. So I decided to give it a shot. I followed the directions exactly to the best of my abilities. And I have to agree, this was some of the best quick and easy mac and cheese I have ever made. I've tried making mac and cheese the legit way before, where it requires a lot of patience, a lot of different ingredients, a lot of different mixtures, and I mean, even though the result can be smooth and creamy, this quick condensed milk mac and cheese recipe was the most quick and easy method to get to what tastes like a high grade mac and cheese product that I've ever accomplished, and I think that I definitely would do this again, especially for family events and gatherings, because it was just that flavorful and delicious. I really liked it. I gave some to our family friend and to my mom and my sister, and they all agreed that it was extremely tasty and delicious. So, yeah, felt pretty nice. I had my sister even decided to switch it up a bit by pouring a little bit of paprika sauce and mixing it in there, which added a nice slight spice and sweetness to it that gave more depth to the bowl of mac and cheese, which without it just tasted like a standard mac and cheese bowl. So it was really good. Next up, I was eating the mac and cheese and I wanted to get a A&W Zero Sugar bottle. But when I opened the door, my mom told me to stop because she was wrapping presents for Christmas Day. So she decided to get the bottle and of the A&W Zero Sugar and give it to me through the door. And I said thank you, and then I ate my mac and cheese with my A&W Zero Sugar while watching a video about the alleged alien encounter from Las Vegas, where a family said that they saw two creepy elongated beings with unique looking legs and big human-like eyes. It's a really fascinating case. I haven't finished the video yet, but it's pretty interesting hearing all the evidence that's been thrown about the encounter. Well, then I needed to leave for work. Before I left, I decided to have like a taffy that my sister brought back in 4th of July that I wasn't able to try for so long because I was on my diet. But since I'm on cheat day holiday for Christmas season, I decided to give it a shot, and yeah, pretty good. Did give me a little tummy ache after, I have to admit. But it was a cinnamon, so it had a spicy flavor. It was really smooth and gummy. Oh, and I even poured naked hot Cheetos on top of the mac and cheese to add a nice crispiness to my second helping of it, which was very good. I then drove back to work in a really cheerful mood, I must admit. Something about like the mac and cheese really made me feel hyped up. I just was excited to experience the rest of my day, and I thought this is going to be great. First hour was spent bagging. Not much to really say here, so we're moving on to the second hour. Second hour, I was given duty of lot. Around the end of lot, at around like 6. Wait, no, sorry, not 6. It was 5:45. No, not 5:45. 5:55, somewhere around there. I was bringing an electric cart into the building. Because we're supposed to bring regular carts and electric carts in. But then one of my coworkers mentioned that the cart was leaving a liquid behind it, and right where I was parking. So I looked down and I noticed it was a serious like splatter of liquid all that was tracked across the floor. So I said, I better do something about it. So I grabbed some paper towels and I just was trying to wipe it all away to prevent anyone from slipping. By the time I was done, it was around 7:05. And I remember earlier in the day that when the CSR told me that I need to take my breaks on time. So I thought, well, I better ask for my breaks because, this ate up a lot of time and, I should take my break. So I went and I asked. They said, yeah, that's fine. So I decided to use that time to refill my canteen at the nearby restaurant that allows you to do it for free. And as I was walking there with my canteen, I noticed that lot was packed with carts, especially on the left end. And then I also noticed our head manager, or the boss, was walking, and he looked pretty mad just stopping and seeing those carts stacked up. And then I just had the realization, oh gosh dang, I should have stopped to check lot before asking for my break. Oh no. So when I was done filling my water canteen and walking back, um, I was stopped by one of the co-managers who decided to inspect the stack, and then they, along with one of the CSRs, and then they told me, "What is this? Why is it like this?" And I was caught at a standstill. I didn't really know how to respond because I honestly just was like aghast at how bad it got as well. So the only thing I could think of saying was, well, I I was I asked for my break 5 minutes after 7, and they said this doesn't get like this in 5 minutes. And then immediately afterwards, I said, oh, "Okay, I'll clear it right now." So I decided to cut my break short, and I cleared that area very much so until it took from 7:10 to 7:31, because it was a really big stack. And originally I was asked to take over for another coworker for doing sweeps at around 7:30, but because of the whole lot situation, I had to do that. And I did manage to finish that at around 7:31, and I did ask, "Hey, since I finished this around the time you wanted me to take over for my coworker to the CSR, would it be all right if I took that a sweep?" And they said, "No, we already gave it to someone else instead." So I was like, "Okay." And then after that, I just did bagging and go backs, and then I would also wipe down the check stands, and that was pretty much my work day. Yeah, a little flub up there, which, you know, isn't great, but when I saw the co-manager that saw the stack of carts, who apparently they told me that they got a call from the head manager who saw that stack. Oh, if you guys can hear that, it would appear that our family friend is singing "Happy Birthday" to my sister. So that's nice. It's good to know you're surrounded by people that love you and care about you. All right, well, okay, moving on. What was I gonna say after that? Right. But yeah. The co-manager did tell me that the head boss was upset about that whole situation. But when I last saw the co-manager, who was punching out around the same time that I was also punching out, they were punching out for lunch. I was punching out for the day at around 7. I told them, I take full responsibility for what happened, and it's never going to happen again. And yeah, they smiled and they seemed to like that. So that's good. Yeah, so after that, I pretty much oh, right. I decided to get some fancy Danish butter for the new fresh batch of cookies that are going to be made and then aged for my sister's boyfriend. So yeah, I got some Danish creamery butter, unsalted. That was the only thing I could think of. I wanted to get oh gosh, what was that? Man, there's like a certain type, Heath. I wanted to get Heath. I went to the candy aisle at my store, there was no Heath there. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll go to the store nearby and get Heath there. So in line, I decided to also grab a Tabasco flavored Slim Jim, and I bought both. I said goodbye to all my coworkers. I left. When I arrived to my car, I realized I had the work phone with me, so I had to walk all the way back, put the work phone where is put when we're done for the day, and then I walked back to my car. I drove off to where did I go? I drove off to the other grocery store in hopes of finding not just the Heath, but also the naked Cheetos. And the reason why is because our family friend said they really liked the Cheetos. So I was like, ooh, I'll surprise them with those Cheetos. They did not have the naked hot Cheetos. So that was a shame. Instead, I decided to get the extra hot Cheetos instead because, I like good burn. And then I tried finding the Heath in both the bakery aisle as pieces. It wasn't there. And in the candy aisle, and it also was not there. The store was fresh out of Heath. So that was a big shame. So I decided to go on Amazon and order some Heath chunks that are for putting in your cookies, which will now be arriving in 2 days. And then I was like, well, I feel like I came here and I didn't get anything. I don't want to leave empty-handed. What should I get? So I got some whipped cream, extra creamy. I also got a single-serve pumpkin pie, which was only 85 cents, which was cool. And did I miss anything? Whipped cream, pie. Yeah, I think that might be it. So I left. I bought those supplies. I went into my car. I decided to listen to the last of the Stephen Hillenburg interview from 2012 while I was eating the pumpkin pie with the whipped cream. Yeah, it was pretty cool listening to that. I got a few more insights into the creation of the show. It was stuff that I was already familiar with, but what made it more interesting this time around was that a lot of the points that, I kept on reading in like Wikipedia articles and things like that, I didn't know, but apparently the original creator, Stephen Hillenburg, actually, a lot of that information that I read in like Wikipedia articles was derived from this interview. And it was really cool hearing a lot of the answers straight from the man himself. It was pretty surreal hearing all that, like from the guy, and I was like, dang, wow, this is interesting. So yeah, that was kind of a fun thing to geek out about. I then drove home. Eventually, when I arrived, I was I decided to listen to a Pee-wee's Big Adventure review by Red Letter Media hosts Mike and Jay with special guest the guy who played the kid from the Home Alone movies, Macaulay Culkin. He's all grown up now, like in his 40s, I think. And yeah, it was pretty cool hearing them geek out and talk about this movie. As I was listening, I was eating the extra hot Cheetos with some cranberry juice. And then I decided to go a little extra crazy, and I had 2 heaping bowls of Cinnamon Toast Crunch with whole milk and a little bit of low fat or 2% milk. And then finally I was about done watching that. then our family friend decided to go to bed, and when they left, my mom and my sister were out, and I greeted them. And then I decided to check to my numbers to see if I won anything. I did not, but I noticed that my other numbers were not in my pocket. So I was like, what happened? So I was looking around. I was looking in all my pockets. And I went in my car to see if they could be in there. Did not find them. So that was a bummer. I feel like I just threw away $4. Oh well. That sucks. But yeah. Then I decided to make the fresh batch of cookie batter. Well, my mom and my sister were watching TV. As I was making the batter, I was listening to old interview with Tom Kenny and Bill Fagerbaki, with the lady back in I think 2012, where they were just talking about the legacy of SpongeBob and their careers, and how much it's meant to them, and it was pretty fun to hear all that. I enjoyed a lot of their fun banter and their answers, and just it was really enjoyable listen, I will say. Well, eventually, I was done browning the butter, but I needed it to cool. So as it was cooling, I was ratioing the sugars, mixing those together in an electric blender, mixing the flour with the salt and the baking soda, with the finely ground up espresso ground up style coffee, and then I had to wait another 30 minutes for the brown butter to solidify. While I was waiting for that, I asked my mom if she'd be interested in watching something with me while we were waiting, or I was waiting for the butter. She agreed, so we decided to watch a Papa Meat video where he was talking about Planet Fitness and the horror stories of Planet Fitness, and we thought it was hilarious. My top 3 favorite bits from that episode was one where it was talking about how there's a autistic man in his late 20s who's trying to watch the Madagascar movies while on his treadmill, and there's some big roided out guy hulking and yelling at the top of his lungs, because apparently at Planet Fitness you're not allowed to yell while you exercise because it'd be creating disruptive environment for everyone. And he pointed to this guy who's on his treadmill watching the Madagascar movies as an example of how he'd react if something like that happened in his environment. And the way he made him sound where he's just was hilarious. I thought it was so funny. Another thing that I thought was funny was apparently his friend who records the episodes in behind the camera was talking about how he one time he didn't use the restroom when he needed to pee. Instead, he peed in the cat litter box, and they were basically having a little back and forth about that, and I thought that was really funny. And one of the last things I remember that I thought was really funny was there was apparently someone who was being gross and filming people who were using the restroom next to him in the gym by pointing his camera up above the bathroom stall. And then he mentioned how one of the people who realized what was happening decided to grab his phone from above the stall and stop it from recording, and then they got into a fight. And when we saw that, we thought it would make a great comedy scene in a movie, and it made us laugh. So that was the top 3 things I remember making me chuckle the most from that episode, and I really enjoyed it. But although I will say that Papa Meat does get a little gratuitous and a little gross in some parts of his videos. But then there are parts where it's just like good clean. Well, I wouldn't say good clean, but I'd say more character driven hilariousness being played throughout. So yeah, pretty cool video. After that, my mom decided to go to sleep. I decided to finish making the cookie batter. When I was done, I cleaned up all of my instruments I used to make the batter, and eventually, after that, I greeted my sister. She was trying to lure her black cat to her. I tried to grab the cat, but she said to not do that. Instead, let him come naturally to her. So I didn't, and the cat did come naturally to her, and she let me hold the cat, this black cat named Calmy, and pet him, and I enjoyed that greatly. She even gave me turkey meat to feed him, and he ate that like there was no tomorrow. He was like really fast and jerky, like. And then after that, I was like, okay, it's tired. I'm sleepy. Tomorrow's my sister's birthday. We're going to go to a bakery and have something nice to eat. I'm gonna take a shower tomorrow morning. Gonna wrap my gifts and yeah, spend some good time with my sister before I go to work from 1 to 10 tomorrow. So that's pretty much my day in a nutshell. I decided to walk in here, hit the record button to update on what's going on, and yeah, hope to see you all soon. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your days, and take care. See you in the next one. Goodbye.